From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of early mornings LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we go over what's going on this week for that fourth stimulus check. It's a monthly stimulus check, and there was incredible breaking news over the weekend. We touch back on that breaking news and what you should anticipate this week. The fourth stimulus check is a monthly stimulus check that starts in the month of July. In this recording, we go over how much, when you're going to get it, and what you're going to get it, and what was the breaking news that impact that fourth stimulus check over the weekend. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, the incredible details of that SSI reform that'll lift your benefits up if you're on SSI, STI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits. But why last Friday we got incredible news that suggests we could see an upward increase on top of that of nearly 20%. And then in the middle of this recording, we go over the big thousands of dollars that are coming to you automatically, and suddenly have to do something today, and we go over all the incredible news about how you get that money, $5, $10, $15, $20,000, money right now that you're gonna get, and this is a major recording. It's Mornings LA, the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, let's get to it, and this is Early Mornings LA. Hope you're having a beautiful Monday morning and hope you had a great weekend. This is LALATE with your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. It's a big recording. It's a stay to the very end. We're first going over the fourth stimulus check, how much you're going to get it, when you're going to get it, who's going to get it, and what's the breaking news that's impacting it today, and what happened over the weekend that impacted as well. Then at the second half of the recording, we go over fifth stimulus, which is in the fall, and it will increase your SSI benefits. We know that, but suddenly we're now hearing that it could increase it even more, upwards of 20% lifetime. Wow, incredible great news. And then in the middle of the recording, we go over the thousands of dollars you can get starting today, automatically some of the money, and the rest of the money you have to do something. And guess what? You have only to the end of the day to get it done. Tough love moments are coming right in this recording. So get a pen and paper ready, and let's get to the breaking details. But first, subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Broadcasting live in the morning, afternoons on taped, and then overnight with a live 7-9 hour broadcast, sometimes upwards of 10 hours, currently also airing right now. Jump into that live chat after this show and chat with your Purple Power buddies about everything from Wall Street to crypto. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. Fourth stimulus is heating up, and that fourth stimulus package update got a series of twists with breaking news over the weekend, and more news is anticipated today. We're going to see the Federal Reserve's minutes of their meeting last week, which will signal how much inflation is anticipated, because inflation has everything to do with how many months of stimulus checks you're getting. There is two proposals for the fourth stimulus package. The House proposal provides stimulus checks for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal provides stimulus checks from July to December. So let's compare and contrast. If you're watching this video live when it's airing, or instant premiering, I guess I should say, at 4 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast, jump into the live chat. If you're watching it taped thereafter, get ready to comment, House or Senate. The House proposal provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal provides a stimulus check for July to December. But before you vote, let's look at the monthly stimulus check amounts. House proposals provide $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. And the Senate amount is unknown on a monthly basis, but word on the street is it's this. Wow. Big, great news. Word on the street is it's either $2,000 a month over 6 months, which is $12,000, or $1,400 a month over 6 months, which is $8,400. Now here's the breaking news. The breaking news, which we learned on Thursday, saw it on Friday, and saw it as early as it's continuing it even yesterday, we're going to hear it again today, is that was now thoughts that potentially we could be out of the pandemic for purposes of legislation by the time they call this to a vote in July. When we looked at the proposals just early part of last week, we were thinking about the House proposal and we said, well, remain of the pandemic plus 1 year. How many more months of the pandemic are left? 3 months, 4 months, plus 12 months would be 16 checks, 15 checks. And that all changed dramatically on Thursday, and then Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday. What happened? On Thursday, the CDC announced that for purposes of the mask mandate is gone, that you don't have to wear a mask outside or inside if you are vaccinated. The White House extended the same guidelines to the White House grounds on Friday, saying you don't have to wear a mask. And then over the weekend, even yesterday, Trader Joe's, Home Depot, Lowe's all announced that the mask mandate has been lifted in their stores, unless required by a locality where the store is located. Which means that suddenly there may not be a pandemic by the time the vote comes in July for purposes of legislative history. Now, certainly the virus will be around, but we're talking about the pandemic for purpose of laws. And so suddenly the House proposal may only have 12 stimulus checks. There won't be a pandemic plus 1 year. It may just be 1 year. So now let's look back to the Senate proposal. $2,000 a month over 6 months is $12,000. Well, what's the House proposal? The House proposal is potentially the same amount of money. The House proposal is potentially the same amount of money, which would mean 12 months and $12,000 versus the Senate proposal, 6 months and $12,000. So which one do you like? House or Senate? Drop in the comments. Love to hear your comments right now if you're watching me live or taped. All right, let's go over the details. Who's going to get it, when you're going to get it, and how much you're going to get. First, who gets it? You do. If you got the third stimulus check, you're getting the fourth stimulus check. If you're a single individual making less than $75,000, you're getting the fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you're getting the fourth stimulus check. Just double it. If you have a household 4 or less, you're getting the fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, you're getting the fourth stimulus check. How much is the check? It's the same amount for everyone. Same amount for adult dependents, minor dependents, and everyone else. Is it income? No, it's not income. Is it taxable? No, it's not taxable. Is it coming in waves? No, it's not coming in waves. Ultimately, I'm a reporter. I just report the news. I'm not a representative, I'm not a legislator. They represent that the vote will be in July for July, meaning that the first check would come in the month of July for the month of July. And then the second check would be August for August. There would be no waves. There's no time to send out stimulus check by waves. Is it taken out by child support? We don't know anything about that just yet. And how does this go? It goes by reconciliation, a 2-bill, 2-step, 2-month process currently underway with the finish line in July. And there you go. That's your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. But late in this recording, stay with me to the end because I'm going to go over the breaking news that's impacting the fourth stimulus today and the breaking news that we're anticipating for the Federal Reserve that could impact it as well. And with that, let me also give you a preview of what's coming up later in this recording. Wow, incredible great news. As fifth stimulus comes in the fall, it comes in September, and the fifth stimulus package has SSI and SSDI reform in it. What does that mean? It would raise your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, and Survivor benefits. But the big, exciting, great news came on Friday when Jeremy Siegel, a top economist, spoke to Broadcast News and suggested something that could change your life forever. Of all those details coming up in the second half of this recording. But now let's turn to the big money that's coming across the land, and it's coming today. But you may have to do something. What I'm going to go over the next few minutes is go over thousands, tens of thousands of dollars that you're going to get. Some of you have already gotten it. I've seen your DMs, and I'll go over them in a second in this recording. But I want you to grab a pen and paper because I'm going to give you a lot of information. There's a lot of money available for you to get, and I don't want you to miss anything. If I talk too fast, you can always replay the video in that section. And during this recording, I'm going to go over some items that are automatic and some are not automatic. Automatic items are what I call donut money. You can just sit back, eat your donut, and the money's going to land. Don't have to do anything. And then other monies are tough love money, meaning you got to go do it right now because the deadline's looming. All right, let's start with some great news. There is a lot of money landing today in your city, counties, and states. And what is it? It's money for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and also homeowners utility assistance. How much money is it? It's about $5,000 for rent, 4 to 6 months of rent. And it's from third stimulus. When third stimulus was passed in January, I told you, yeah, you're going to get a $14 stimulus check. But there's also going to be anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000 of other money you can get. And I said, you got to pounce and get it as soon as it goes live. I said you have to pounce like a hawk, which became my expression, purple hawk. Hawk, hawk. You got to get the money before other people do, because they're going to try a stampede in front of you, what I called a stimulus stampede. And so that money is going live this week in your city, counties, and states. Where do you get it? Let me get over the details. Get that pen and paper ready. The money is available at your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. Those 6 locations, you're going to ask them about rent assistance because of COVID or Biden Economic Recovery Act. Do not use the word stimulus. They don't know what stimulus is about. Don't use those words. And so this rent is about $5,000, 4 to 6 months of rent. Then you can get about a couple $100 to $1,000 for utilities, mortgage assistance, and also homeowner utility bills. Incredible, great news. But I'm not done there yet. No. Then you can also get SNAP. What's SNAP? It's money for food, and it's from the Department of Agriculture, which you can also reach by calling 211. How much SNAP can you get, and what's the eligibility? It's generally the same eligibility as a stimulus check. And now a family of 4 in Hawaii over 1 year gets $16,000 approximately. It is absolutely incredible. Why is it so much? Because of 2 executive orders, one from Biden and one from Trump, that both lifted your benefits for 1 year at 15%. So now what do? Well, go get some SNAP and reach out to the Department of Agriculture to get it right away. Look at how good we're doing. We're only 11 minutes of this video, and you can get $5,000 for rent, about $10,000, $20,000 for SNAP, depending on where you live and how many people in the household. I mean, we're doing about $10,000, $12,000 already, and we just started this video. Which brings me to an important tough love moment. First one of this video, which is the following. I had one viewer send me a very nice DM overnight because she understood this, what I'm saying with this tough love. She said, Monday, I'm immediately going to get the money for rent. Thank you for being tough with us. What's the tough love moment? The tough love moment is that if you need money for rent, utilities, mortgage, or also for SNAP, go get it, because with the exception of SNAP, it's all going away. Forced stimulus, the forced stimulus package, which I started this video on, starting in May and going to get into the finish line in July, will not have rent assistance in it, or utilities, or homeowners assistance. Even more of a reality check is that the eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance is going away in September, so it's not coming back. Why do they want it to go away? Because they want you to get this money for rent now, so you're caught up on your bills, so you won't need any eviction protection or mortgage protection in the fall. And there you go. So with that, you now deserve some donut moments. And donut moment number one viewer said, oh my God, my husband's going to get $5,000 from it. Yes, it's a big payday. It is from your states to your account that you have on file with your states. States have been ordered by the federal government to return thousands of dollars to some viewers' this channel, where the states had overpaid you unemployment benefits but asked you to return it back to them. It was no fault of your own. It was due to a computer glitch at the state level. Those states are now ordered to return the money. So when you're going to get it depends on a state-by-state basis. But here's what you need to know. If your state paid you extra money on top of your unemployment benefits, and out of a computer glitch, they realize, oh, we made a mistake, return it back to us, and you did, well, now the states have been ordered to return it to you. Incredible, great news. On Saturday evening, we learned breaking news about the next donut moment, another automatic money, and this one comes from the federal government, IRS Treasury. They're returning thousands of dollars to viewers across the land because of payments that they made on unemployment benefits. What's at issue? Your first $10,200 of unemployment benefits is tax-free. But some people had filed their 2020 tax return paying federal taxes on that unemployment before that became law. Now the federal government is returning those thousands of dollars. We learned on Saturday over the weekend that there's going to be 3 phases of which they pay out the money. Phase 1 is today and the early part of this week. Phase 2 is the later part of this week, and Phase 3 is the end of the month. What is Phase 1? People who are single filers who have what is described a basic simple tax return, no dependents, no tax refunds, they're getting their money first. Phase 2 is single filers who have dependents, have refunds of other items, and have slightly more complicated returns. And Phase 3 are joint filers like husband and wife. Where's the money coming from? IRS. How do you get it? In the mail, generally, with a check that's either in a beige or white envelope that says on it Treasury or IRS, and the subject line is refund. The only other case in which you would get it by direct deposit if you had a direct deposit on file when you filed your 2020 tax return. And so what are you getting? Here's the calculation. You're getting back the taxes you paid on your unemployment in 2020's return. So for example, let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment assistance. You paid a total tax bill of $5,000 to the IRS, of which $4,000 was taxes on your unemployment. You're getting back a check of $4,000. Congratulations. Which now brings me to tough love moment number 2. If you took out for federal taxes anytime during 2020 for IRS, when receiving your unemployment benefits, you have to file a tax return. Now, you're going to see me talk about tough love probably to the end of today. And after today, I may never talk about tough love anymore because the tough love is literally down to the hour. People's personal federal tax returns are due by the end of today. The business ended today. And there's a series of situations when you have to file a tax return by the end of today. This one is number 1. If you took out for federal taxes when receiving your unemployment on a weekly basis in 2020, you have to file that tax return by the end of the day to request that money back. Here's an example. Let's say you had taken out $100 a week for federal taxes when receiving your unemployment benefits over 10 weeks. That's $1,000. You have to file the tax return by the end of the day requesting that money. Which brings me to 3 tough love moments, and it's about my children. And not my children, your children. The incredible great news is that $3,600 is being paid to children 5 to newborn starting the month of July, prorated per month, which is $300 a month. And at the child 17 to 6, it's $250 a month starting in the month of July, which is $3,000. If 2 things have happened: 1, you make less than $75,000, and 2, that the IRS knows that child is with you, which brings us to tough love moment number 1. If IRS doesn't know the child exists and you've never filed a tax return, and you certainly in your heart believe that IRS does not know that child is with you, you must file a tax return. If you don't, you're not going to get paid in the month of July, and that tax return is due by the end of today. Here's an example like that. A single mom with a 5, 4, and 3-year-old at home who really believes that IRS does not know that child is with her must file that tax return by the end of the day. If she doesn't, she will lose out on $10,000. Yes, seriously, $10,000. If you don't file the tax return, you're categorically 100% not going to get the $10,000 if IRS does not know that child's with you. Example number 2 for tough love is that you always file a tax return, but your last 2019 tax return didn't list the child. Well, if you don't file a 2020 tax return, they're not going to know the child's with you. Here's the example. Let's say you just got newly divorced and the child was previously on the husband's tax return. Now it's supposed to be on your tax return. They're not going to know that until you file the tax return. Or let's say the child was just born during the pandemic. If the child was born in 2020, IRS doesn't know that, and you need to file that tax return to alert IRS to that existence. Which brings us to tough love moment number 3. And this is the more rare circumstance when you did the list of the child on the 2019 tax return, but you made a lot of money in 2019, ineligible for this child's check. Then guess what? You have to file the 2020 return if you are eligible. Here's the example. You made a lot of money in 2019, $250,000, but in 2020, you took a tank and you only made $40,000. Guess what? You're eligible for the children's check now. But IRS is going to go off the most recent tax return, which is 2019, and say, nope. The most recent tax return shows you are ineligible. You made too much money, so get it on file. Which brings us to 4 major tough love moments here, which are critically important. So please look at the camera with me because I want to make these very clear to you. If you never file tax returns because you don't make enough money, or you never file tax returns because you're on SSI or SDI, I get it, but that's not what I'm covering in the video. The rule, when we're talking about that situation, that means that you're not required to file a tax return, but you can always voluntarily file a tax return for yourself. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is that when situations need to be fixed, you must file the tax return, IRS has said. The example of that is the following. If you're missing a first stimulus check, a second stimulus check, a third stimulus check, or a member of the household stimulus check, you must file that tax return by the end of the day. There is no exception to the rule. Here's an example. I have people still, as of yesterday, saying, I went to the IRS tool and it says my check is still coming. Is there another wave of third stimulus checks? I'm hoping maybe it's coming this week. No. At this point, IRS has made very clear your check is considered missing if you haven't gotten it. You must file the tax return by the end of the day or you're not getting a stimulus check. So don't track it. Go right to the tax preparer and get that form on file right away today. Next one is that there is no cutting costs. So for example, if you believe that IRS does not know that child is with you, you must file that tax return by the end of the day, or you're not going to get the $10,000 if it's 3 children under the age of 5. Then I had one viewer said, I changed my address. Should I file a tax return? Absolutely. That's one of the clear reasons you file a tax return, because they're not going to know where you are to send you the money. Finally, if you're one of those people that says, but I've gotten all my stimulus checks, they've been all fine and everything's perfect, then that's not the situation that I'm addressing. But if you, for any reason, got a second stimulus check 7 months later after everyone else, that's a big warning sign that something may be wrong. Get that tax return on file. And there you go. Big exciting news across the board. And guess what? There is still money for rent, utilities, homeowners mortgage, and also that incredible SNAP. And if you need help getting it, reach out to the volunteers. They're at news.lalate.com/community. They're in the community page, which appears in the description to this video and the pinned comment. They can't help you with taxes, and they can't help you with unemployment benefits, but they can help you with all that. So reach out to them. And after the commercial break, I'll go over the big exciting news about what's happening with forced stimulus today, what happened with forced stimulus yesterday, and that incredible increase for SSI and SSDI. Stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Early Mornings LALATE. The toast is toasting, the coffee is brewing, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and the bacon's still missing. Who has the bacon? I can't get this bacon delivered here. I just no bacon. Hope you're great. This is Early Mornings LA with big updates about your fourth stimulus check still coming up in this recording and this stimulus. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're now at the cusp of 400,000 subscribers. What an incredible run. Overnight had Overnight's LA's 9-hour live feed on crypto, which is a great experience because people just get in there, chat away, learn. I'm in the live chat, so if once this show is done, jump back over into that one. It's still airing live until about 7 o'clock on the West Coast. Also, like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and pinned comment. Let's get to fifth stimulus and why fifth stimulus could absolutely be the game changer. Fifth stimulus is in September. It goes the same process as fourth stimulus, reconciliation, a 2-bill, 2-step, 2-month process. And fifth stimulus has an SSI, SSDI reform. Let me broadly go over it first before I go over the specifics. First, they'll increase your benefit limits. Then they'll remove the asset cap. They'll add an inflationary benchmark, remove the marriage penalty, and remove the income exclusion. All right, let me explain what that means, and let me tell you about the big, exciting breaking news. It is incredible, great news. All right, so how does this work? First, they're going to raise up your benefits to a big new number under fifth stimulus. Who's you? SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, SSA, Survivor benefits. And if you're on multiple benefits, they're all going to rise up. Then they're going to tie your benefits to inflation as your new benchmark. Now, let me slow it down and explain what that means and go over the breaking news. Here's an example. Every December, you get a letter that says, hi, for next year, your benefits will increase by this amount. What they'll be doing is they'll be tying you to inflation. Now, over the last few weeks, we've heard that inflation by December may likely be 2.5% to 4%. If that's correct, let's use 3, for example. You would get a letter in December that said, hi, next year benefits will go up 3% if inflation goes up 3%. Very simple. The way a benchmark works is it only goes up or stays the same. So your benefits never step down. For example, let's say in December it's 3% inflation. That means you would go up 3%. If the year after that it's 0, you don't step down. If the year after that is 5, you step up 5. And the year after that is 0, you stay the same. There's no step down. It's either flat or step up. With that simple explanation, now let's go to the breaking news that happened on Friday. Out of nowhere, one of the most well-regarded financial advisors or economists, Jeremy Siegel, professor out of Wharton School of Business, appeared on broadcast news. And he was asked about the inflation rate. He was asked, do you think, Jeremy, 2.5, 3, 4% inflation by December? He said, no, absolutely not. It's going to be 20% inflation. 20% inflation. Okay, so let me explain what this means for your benefits if Siegel is correct. This is jaw-dropping, life-changing. This is what would happen if Siegel's correct. So fifth stimulus will raise your benefits up to a big new number. Then in December, if Siegel's correct and the inflation rate is 20%, your benefits would zoom up 20%. And guess what? It doesn't make any difference what happens the year after that because you would always be at that plus 20%. If the year after that it's 0% inflation, you're not going to step down. You'll stay at that plus 20%. And the year after that it's 2% inflation, you'll step up another 2%. It's incredible, great news. It would change your life forever because that benefits level would be lifetime unless there's another step up and you would step up more. Incredible, great news. Then let's go over the asset cap. The asset cap will go away. It's dating back to the 1980s law that says you can't keep more than approximately $3,000 on hand if you're on benefits. Helpful to get rid of that if there's stimulus checks coming. Then they're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't stay on benefits and work. So now you can work if you want to work $1,000, $2,000 a month. And incredible, great news. And finally, the marriage penalty going away. So if you're suffering from the marriage penalty, you would no longer suffer. And what's important is that love will win. If you've never married because you are going to lose benefits under the marriage penalty, now you can marry the love of your life and not lose benefits. It's incredible, great news. So that's fifth stimulus. This fall, in September, two-step, two-bill, 2-month process, likely to impact your benefits around November. Now let's circle back to fourth stimulus and what went on over the weekend, yesterday, and what will happen this week for fourth stimulus and for fourth stimulus checks. The incredible great news, and let me slow this one down a little bit because it's a little bit complicated. The incredible great news about fourth stimulus is that now Republicans and Democrats, both legislators and even local politicians like governors, are universally understanding for the first time I can ever recall in understanding that each stimulus instrument is slightly different than the other. Both Republicans and Democrats, for example, want to get rid of eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance and rent assistance stimulus. They think that those rental stimuluses need to go away. So that's why when we're looking at September, they will not continue any further. Then many believe that unemployment stimulus like PUA, PUEC, and FPUC also needs to go away. But the great news across the board is that not only Democrats, but even Republican governors who say, I want to get rid of rental stimulus and unemployment stimulus say, but here's a stimulus check. You need to get caught up in your bills. Wow, this is incredible, great news. Finally, people realize that the purpose of the stimulus check is not anything to do with unemployment and has nothing to do with rent. It's to get people caught up on their bills. And that's why there's a stimulus check. Incredible, great news. So we actually even have Republican governors saying, I'm stopping unemployment stimulus and I'm sending you out a stimulus check. Incredible. The other incredible news you'll see this week is the Federal Reserve will release its minutes of its most recent meeting on the Federal Reserve. And those minutes will discuss inflation. Again, inflation kicks into the issue of the other stimulus items, like unemployment and mortgage. And while the nation is beginning to reopen, and while the pandemic's ending, that has no real big impact on the stimulus checks, because the stimulus checks are getting people caught up on bills. Make it even simpler. If we were completely open tomorrow in this nation, people would still not be caught up on their bills, even if they have a job. And that's why legislators from both parties believe that stimulus checks help, because it gets people caught up on bills. It's also why a lot of people in the comments think that the Senate plan works, because the Senate plan is designed to get you caught up on your bills and be put back to whole, as close to whole as you were when the pandemic started. The concept of the Senate plan is to give a fast, big cash infusion to get you caught up in your bills. And now, if we're looking at July and thinking that the pandemic will surely be over by July, then that mirrors that concept. If we're over by July, the pandemic, then people may not be caught up on their bills. And while we don't have to continue unemployment benefits because jobs are out there, we don't have to continue eviction moratoriums because we've provided rental assistance to people, we absolutely need stimulus checks, because people have past due bills they need to get caught up on. Once they're caught up on those past due bills, then we've reached nirvana for stimulus. And that's your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. Yes, today's Monday. Yes, you got to file tax returns. So if during this broadcast you heard a scenario in which it triggers a point in your thought process where you say, I'm missing a stimulus check for someone, or I don't think IRS knows this child exists, or I'm really not sure, but I moved addresses. If anything triggers the least bit concern that you need to file it, file it. It's due by the end of the day. Do not file it. Fill it out, bring it to the post office and mail it out, or put it in the mailbox and mail it out. In many cases, and I haven't said this throughout the last few days, in many cases, your tax return may be very, very basic. And the only issue with the tax return is alerting IRS to a missing stimulus check, a missing child, or updating an address. Sometimes it's as simple as that. And to not file a federal tax return to fix that situation, a form that takes no less than about 20 minutes to file, free to fill out, is absolutely not well advised. File the return if you need to file it. And if you need more clarity about the issues, tune in to Mornings LALATE. I'll be going over more about these details as this tough love moment goes into the finish line. During this recording, we went over the fourth stimulus check, those monthly stimulus checks, the fifth stimulus package, that SSI and SSDI reform tied to inflation, and that big money, some landing directly and automatically, and some where you have to do a little bit. Ultimately, my focus is to get you big money, and stay with me, because I'm back with you at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with Mornings LALATE. And then we go into Crypto Mornings. Crypto Overnight is still airing on this channel, so jump into the live chat after you're watching this show. But meantime, subscribe. I want you part of this channel. I want you part of this community, the best community there is out there. Also, like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.